This is the Man Stop It podcast. Man, stop it. Man, stop it. That button. Subscribe to my channel. Check this out. I met this young guy today by the name of Prince. Uh, and we were just talking. I was talking to him. He was working or whatever, but I met him, man, and we was talking, and he told me, we was talking about, I told him to subscribe to my channel, and he was like, "What, you got a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a podcast." Everybody I tell that to, they be like, "What it's about?" So I was like, "Man, it's about peace. That's what I want. Peace. That's what I talk about." Um, so I was telling him that, he was asking me, he went on there, he looked at my podcast, and he saw the people on there, and he was like, saw Scrapp on there, Duck, he was like, "Man, uh, I know them," he was like, "Duck, I met Duck before, you know what I'm saying, but then he was like, Scrap, that was my boy, but I called him Brian." He was like, "I ain't called him Scrap." He was like, "Man, when I first met him, he showed me nothing but love." You know what I'm saying? That's what I be saying. Like, he was like, "Man, 'cause all these bloggers and shit, they be talking." And he said, "I'd rather hear from somebody that's from here." You know what I'm saying? 'Cause he was like, "I know that you gonna speak the truth." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Man, all them other people, man, like from different places and shit, they don't be speaking the truth." So he saw that I was Scrap's father, you know what I'm saying, once and he was like, "Man, stop it." Like, yeah. He was like, "Man, stop it." I was like, "Yeah, man, that's my son." But he was like, Scrap was cool, man. He said when I first met Scrap, he said his people used to stay around there on 59th, Michigan and shit like that. And he said Scrap was one of the first persons he met. That was his, they was cool. He was like, "Man," he said, "when I first met Scrap, man," he said, "I ain't gonna lie, man." He was like, "Man, he showed me nothing but love." He was like, "Man, I ain't gonna lie, man, all that shit, how they be trying to portray Scrap to be and this and that." He was like, "Man, I know Scrap." He was like, "Man, all that what they trying to say and this and that about Scrap, a lot of that shit," he was like, "Man, it ain't true." He said, "Man, I know Scrap. Scrap was a cool guy. He loved his people. You know what I'm saying?" And he was like, "Shit, he the only one really like treated him and showed him love." You know what I'm saying? But his people was from over there. So I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, man, Scrap was cool." He said, "Man, your son was cool as hell, bro." He was like, "Man, he showed me nothing but love." You know what I'm saying? From the first day I met him, he showed me love. He was like, "But I wasn't calling him Scrap. I was calling him Brian." So he was like, that was like back in 2000, I'm going to say 2008, he said, when he met him, about 2008. And he said they locked in ever since. They locked in. He was like, "Man, that was my boy." You know what I'm saying? But let's just let you know that people is good people out here. You know, like I said, man, they just look at one side. You know what I'm saying? And they take that side and they run with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, you know, people always judge. They quick to judge somebody else's kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never liked it that. Like, don't just judge my kid. You know what I'm saying? And your kid is this super villain. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do that with shorties. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm from the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I never chose my son's friends. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is talk to him about the people and the surroundings and the people he hang with. Any one of them, Ruger, uh, any one of my sons. I always just let them know, man. If this person ain't good for you, I talk to them, but I can't choose they friends. And that man, he ain't know me from nowhere. He ain't know me. He just said when I told him that I got a YouTube channel, and he saw my channel. He was like, damn. He was like, yeah, I'm fucking with your channel. You know what I'm saying? He instantly subscribed. He like, man, I'm fucking with your channel. And he was like, man, he just told me shit. Like he said, Scrap was one of the first persons he met. And shit, he showed me love instantly. That man, he was like, man, he play a lot. He said, man, he used to play a lot. Uh, just like yeah, he said, he was just a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? He was. My son was a lovable person, man. He loved his friends and he loved his family real hard. And I know y'all probably like, now why is he, just it's always Scrap? No, it ain't always Scrap. This somebody that I just met today, and he spoke, and I told him to go to my YouTube and subscribe. And he spoke on my son, and he spoke good things about my son Scrap. And he said it. He was just letting me know that Brian, that's what he said. He said, I called him Brian. I didn't call him Scrap. He said, I know him as Brian. I called him Brian. He said, man, when I met Brian, Brian showed me love. So I just wanted to share this with y'all that somebody shared with me about my son. You know what I'm saying? I just want to share because this is like, it make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Coming from another young person that know my son. He didn't know that I was here. I just told him to subscribe to my Man Stop It podcast. He subscribed. He saw what was going on my page. He asked me what I'm talking about. When he saw my page, he like, oh, I can fuck with this channel. You know what I'm saying? He said, I like this. This is what I like. This is what I like to mess with. You know what I'm saying? So he got to talking to me, talking about I knew Scrap, but he called him Brian. He was like, man, Brian was cool. He said, man, he just took me in with open arms, man. Like Scrap just played a lot. He said Scrap played a lot and he was a lot of fun. He said that. He said, man, he was a lot of fun, man. He played a lot and, uh, he just kept it real, man. He ain't put no bad nothing on his name or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. You know what I'm saying? That's super good. But smash that button. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. But like I said, man, he ain't show my son Scrap nothing but love. His name is Prince, man. And salute to you, Prince. You know, you ain't have to say none of that. You just came out from the bottom of your heart and just, like you said, man, I want to hear from the people that's here in Chicago, not all these outsiders. You know what I'm saying? Not to be knocking nobody, but I'm just going to say this to say that, Man, stop it.